Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is Reverend Eliot coming to you live tonight, near the end of December. Oh gosh, time is flying. Like I say, time flies. It's up to you to be the navigator, but this is pushing it a little much. I mean, the last time I turned around, it was the beginning of the year. So who knows? I mean, it zoomed by. I wish there was more time in the year for me to make up for the 6 months, I believe it was, of shows that I missed, which, hey, I've got a good excuse. I was doing this, I was busy dying. If that, doctors certainly have pulled me back from the edge of the abyss. That's a horrible movie, and I didn't want to see it, so the doctors just dragged me back out. Nevertheless, I'm doing much better, and this is 4 shows in a row now. I'm doing. I'm practically on my own here, on my own record. I feel like Joe DiMaggio in the late 30s, hitting that ball every game. 4 shows, right? And I tell you something else: the lengths to which I'm going to get people to listen. I just got a notification from my computer that it'll be raining here in New York for the next hour. So everybody should be staying home and listening to the live feed. If not, you can always find it later at askoneradio.com or at my website, magic-works.com. There's all kinds of ways to hear me. There's no getting rid of me. Now, if you were intrepid enough to have been here last week, you'll have noticed that my voice was rather scratchy. And it still is. I have no idea when this is going to stop, and we'll get back to my mellifluous intonations. But I've got a cold, and it's a nasty little cold, and I'm really sick of it. I mean, that's, of course, because it's a sickness. It's the kind that my nose is not just stuffed, but it's encrusted over. So it's just really painful, and I hate that kind of a cold. But we'll be here. If I'm sure I can manage to squeeze out some words of wisdom, dare we say, some words anyway, for the next hour with you here on Reverend Eliot's Magical Window, where we get together to. We don't talk politics here. That's that's just so simple. That's a simplistic thing. Anybody can do that. That's just a sideshow. It's just people trying to scare you, and I hope you don't take them that seriously that you were actually scared this last election, because they're going to start it all up again any minute now with the 2028 election. This is it's a nonstop thing. I remember there was a time before these program-heavy cable networks, which needed to fill up time around the clock. Before that, people just they start paying attention like maybe about September, of every 4 years for the presidential election, and then every 2 years for the regular ones in their localities. Now they want to stick us with this all year round, and I say no. Just no. No, 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 no. There are more important things in life than allowing total strangers who get paid $20 million a year to make you angry. They're just what they do. They're like drunks in a bar. 90% of cable news to me is a guy saying to somebody else, like a guy in a bar, "Did you hear what that guy said about you? You're going to let him get away with that?" That's what they do. They bring a guy into the studio. They run him through makeup. They sit him down in a chair. They throw harsh lights on him. And then they say, "Did you hear what that guy called you?" And then they go to town and they attack each other. And that's, that's got to stop. It's just ridiculous. But it sells. Not as much anymore. Have you seen that these cable news channels, for the most part, have lost over 40% of their listenership? Wow. Their viewership? Unbelievable. I think people finally caught on that this is a racket. This is just a way to scare the hell out of people. There's always something to scare you. And this is why I always talked about Unmasking Fear, which is the book that explains how the powers that be, shall we call them, are thrilled with controlling us by keeping us in a state of fear. And this book was written over 100 years ago, and it's still relevant. What's even more relevant are the two opening treatises that I wrote for the newest edition of the book. So I'll pat myself on the back and probably sprain something doing it, but there you go. So this is something I'm glad if you're listening and you're listening to positive radio. You're not going to hear anything but positivity on the Ask One Radio Network because that's the way to go. That's what life is about. Life is about enjoying things and sharing things and being with other people and having a good time and not eating their lunch at the office. Did you read that story about the woman who somebody was eating her lunch at the office? So she put something in the lunch that sent the person running to the bathroom and then the hospital. Well, that's kind of illegal. I knew somebody who did that many, many, many years ago in an office I worked in. They put eye drops in somebody's coffee. And boy, was that guy in pain. This is why I work for myself, I suppose. I never liked the office dynamic. I was such a naive little jerk when I went to work in an office in my early 20s. Oh, what a callow youth, right? I thought that everybody would just work together. You know, we were all on the same team. We were all in the same corporation. We were all huddled around the corporate campfire, all sustaining life and getting warmth from the flame that we all nurture. And then I discovered office politics. What a mess that was. So that really soured me on that kind of stuff. My idea of a job is to be hired to do something and just sit down and get it done. That's what I used to like to do. That's why screenwriting appealed to me, and I was fortunate enough to spend a couple of years doing that. And it's just me alone for the most part until, of course, I turn in the pages, and then I get harangued by the producer. But I think I actually wrote more memos during those years than I wrote script pages, because every time they called me, I would write up a memo discussing what I heard. This is why I kept the job for years, because a lot of the people they hired to do this kind of work would just go off and then come back and turn in something completely different from what they hired them to write, which I never did. So whenever they would discuss a concept with me, I would immediately memorialize it in a memo and fax it right to them. I loved the fax machine in those days. And I'd say, this is to memorialize our conversation. Please let me know if I got the drift of it here. Because I studied, it's a very odd thing that happened. Because of the nature of the work I'd been doing, I studied talking. Now, we all learn to talk at 2 years old, so we think we're experts, but we're not. Because the biggest part of talking is the one that's the most ignored, and that's listening. You all know that. How many times have you felt like you're telling somebody something, but you're banging your head against a wall? That's because a lot of people don't know how to listen. There's an art to listening and a talent to listening. So there are parts of a conversation. This I don't know if I've ever gone into this before here with you guys, but it's important. There are several parts to a conversation. There's what I say, and there's what you hear. There's what I think you heard, and there's what you think I said. It goes on and on and on. But you see what I mean? You can run into problems with that because miscommunication is so easy. Because so often people just don't hear exactly what you're saying. And I was guilty of that myself. I took a listening course. The corporation who hired me, was a marketing firm, put me through a listening course, and it was ear-opening, not just eye-opening, because it occurred to me that since we all learned how to talk at the age of roughly 2, we think we know it all, but we don't. It's a very, very different thing. I've seen people just don't understand anything. I know I talked about this before because I got into a doom loop with the head of New York City Planning Commission one time when I asked him a softball question as a journalist. He had a plan for the city for a neighborhood in the city, and he liked the plan, and he said it was a good plan. And I said, could you tell us why you think it's a good plan? He said, because it's the best plan that we saw. And I said, and what is it that made it the best plan? He says, because it's a good plan. Now, you see where that's going to lead to, right? People, I kept pressing him. I said, yeah, but what do you mean it's a good plan? Well, because it was better than the others. Well, what was good about it? Well, I liked it. Now, you can't, this person was the head of city planning for the city of New York. Now you understand why the city looks like it does, right? It was a very, very, very odd kind of thing. And people got mad at me. They said, he's answering your question. You just don't like his answer. I said, his answer is non-responsive. It's not informative. Now, the thing was, he wasn't putting me off. He really looked puzzled. He was confused. I couldn't believe how a guy got to middle age, had a responsible job like that, and he didn't know how to communicate. It was just shocking to me. Ah, well, that's life, right? that's that's one for the most. If I ever write the most boring book in the world, it's going to be about my adventures in the screen trade and in the newspaper trade. Those were great years, but whew, it was challenging work. Try running a newspaper for 20 years. That's a shocker. I didn't even know we had been doing. My wife and I did this for 20 years. We were shut down during the lockdowns with COVID, and we decided to just stop. And then it dawned on us that we'd been doing it for 20 years. We didn't know. We really didn't realize it at all. Unbelievable, huh? The way we get caught up in things. So anyway, now we're going to get back to we're going to get down to real communication here, because that's what tarot cards are for, and that's why I refer to them as the magical window, because you can look through the magical window and see around the corner of the space-time continuum. We can, there are people who get flabbergasted by this. I've had people tell me that it's all garbage. I say, okay, fine. You think it's garbage? They'll listen, and then I'll ask them, and they'll listen once, I might add. And the typical response is, well, I heard you do things that I can't explain. So, of course, that means it's ridiculous, right? If you can't explain it, it's no good. See the ego in that one, right? You can't explain electricity. This is a good one. Keep this in mind. Although few people believe it, nobody on the face of the earth knows how electricity works. They just know it works and they know how to harness it, but nobody knows how it works. Nobody knows what it is or how it does what it does. Think about that one for a while. There's a famous story about a professor who asks a question of a kid in the class, and he calls on this kid, and the kid wasn't paying attention. He was daydreaming. So he just makes up an answer. He said, well, I did know, but I forgot. And of course, the question was, how does electricity work? And the professor in this little story, which I doubt is true, said to the kid, how very unfortunate. The only person in the history of the world who ever knew how electricity worked forgot. There you go. So we don't need to know how and the how of everything. We don't know how hummingbirds remain static in the air. We don't know how a whole flock of birds in the sky can turn at the same time and not hit each other. There's a thing that Rupert Sheldrake, the scientist in London, calls morphic resonance. And he believes, which a lot of people, I've read about this first in the 1970s, so it's not new with him, is that our thoughts and our memories are not in the brain. They're off to the side somewhere in an electric field of some sort around us. That's interesting in a sense. And that could account for for ESP, for instance, why some of us can read the minds of other people. Because we can, There's a guy years ago who gave me the best advice I ever had that I can repeat in public. He said, always act as if people are reading your mind because they can. And he's right. There's times, haven't you had your BS detector go off and you just know that somebody's pulling your leg, so to put it mildly? Yeah, we do. We do have the ability to do that. So we're going to throw aside the mundane world for now Oh, good. I just looked at the cards here. I got the High Priestess card here, which is the person who sees behind the veil. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to see behind the veil. We're going to take a look at the things that are going on in our lives and see what we can do. If there's something that's not up to snuff in your life, maybe we can help you make it better. There are loads of things that we can do in terms of magic ritual, for instance, that I can help you out with. Let me tell you, it's a very funny thing here. Then I'll go on with this. My mother knew nothing about occult work and esotericism, but she had a ritual that she used to perform whenever she moved into a new dwelling place. And the thing is, it never occurred to her that this was magic work. This was magic work. She would take a little piece of cloth, and in that cloth, she would put a penny. She would sprinkle salt and pepper, and then she would put the little piece of a crust of bread in there and then tie it up and hide it somewhere in the apartment so that there would always be food in the house, there would always be money in the house, and there would always be spice in our life. You see, that's sympathetic magic. That's it. Now, if I had ever tried to explain to her that that was a magic ritual, she probably would have been aghast. But hey, we all do. We all have things like superstitions, we call them. But you can read about that stuff in Reverend Eliot Explains It All, the wonderfully modestly titled book I wrote, which does have short, easy to understand essays about how magic does work. I just mailed a couple of more copies out last week, in fact. I'm glad to see people are buying again now that the fear of the election is over. And not just because I'm getting a little cash out of it. That's, hey, stop that. But I like that people read what I write. Otherwise, I'm barking up the wrong tree here. But you can read about the way these things work, like how do amulets and talismans work? Where does magic function? What is reality? Little questions like that. I'm not interested in do you live in a blue state or a red state. I'm interested in the state of your soul. How's that? So let's get to the cards now. I've got them all shuffled up while I've been babbling here. So I'm multitasking. That's my version of multitasking. Multitasking for me was having a martini and a cigar. Those days are over for me, folks. That's for sure. So let's get right down to this and do the readings now. We've got people waiting, and I don't want to keep them waiting any longer. So let's ring the bell 3 times to declare sacred space. And now we'll pull back the curtain on the magical window for Takia in New Jersey. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing tonight?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you picking me up here? Am I coming through loud and clear?
I'm not on speakerphone.
You don't. Okay? Do you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you fine now. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. See, you got all these satellites and computers and technology, and it all boils down to our eardrums, right? What can I look at? What can I look at for you tonight?
Okay, I wanted to take a look at my finances. It's kind of like a love tied into finances situation. I actually have a twin flame, and unfortunately, his family and people were doing black magic to keep us separated. He did a lot of spell work to affect both of our finances and limit the level of our career as far as
Have you been doing
celebrities.
anything? Have you done any work to protect
No.
yourself?
I
Well,
just do a lot of energy work, like just
Mm.
energy work, but I haven't done like any real spell work. I'm more so go the energetic route, with cleansing my energy. I do take spiritual baths and things like that sometimes, but
Well, I think
and
you're doing
it has
okay.
been helping, but
I think you're doing okay here because I've got the 7 of Rods here, and that's a card of a person who's
okay,
being attacked and sweeps them away. So that's a good sign, don't you think?
wonderful. That is a good sign.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good sign. So,
Take a look at the card.
I
If
was,
you have it, if you've got a deck of cards, take a look at the seven of rods. If not, look at it on the computer and you'll see what I mean. Because there's a person being attacked
Hello?
by people who, and that person just sweeps them away, gets rid of them.
Hello?
Uh, yeah, I hear you. Now, do you hear me now?
Hello?
No, did I lose you? We got something going on here with your phone, huh? Okay, well, in any case, this is a very important thing because people do attack other people with energy, and know that it does create problems, and there are ways to fight that. There are things you can do. You can get a black and red candle, which is a reversing spell candle. You can find these things. You can go online and take a look at the catalog. Download the catalog from the Luck Shop. That's a very old occult store. It's been around since the 30s, and it's still in operation in Chicago, what's left of Chicago. But take a look at the Luck store and see. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Are you back with me now?
I sure am.
Okay, great. I want to tell you, I've got the Seven of Swords here, which is a card that says that there's somebody sneaking around causing you trouble. So yeah, you're right. Okay,
Okay.
but I see that isn't going to work. I see that
I
you'll be able to
agree.
fight the person off. Okay,
Yes.
so you try. While you were gone, I was talking about reversal candles. You can find those, the red and black candle. Do you?
Yes.
Is there a kind of a new age
Botanical.
occult
Yes.
store? You
Yes.
pardon?
Yes. Yes. And I have one of those candles. I just haven't lit it, but it's been
Okay.
here for a while. I'll probably get a
Well,
new one or maybe stage it.
well, I've got one like that too. I keep it around like it's a fire extinguisher, But there comes a time when you got to use it, right?
Wonderful. I don't feel so bad now.
Good, good. Yeah, I've had one sitting there for years behind my rocking chair. Yeah. I've had it there since before I even needed a rocking chair.
That's amazing.
So I see that you're a person with divine protection. Okay, that's clear.
Yes.
That I see.
Yes.
I see that you're going to fight these people successfully. Don't even doubt that. Okay, because all these
Okay.
cards are positive about the outcome. And you have the strength card and the sun card and the hanged man, which shows that you know how to sacrifice to get something better for yourself, and the fool, which means you have the protection of
Yes.
God. Yeah, you're going to do just fine. Don't let these petty people
Okay.
attack you. Okay, yeah, fight back though with
Okay.
that candle. Use that candle.
That makes sense. Yes. Okay. I sure will. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate your time this evening.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm glad to help. Bye bye now. And let's shuffle them up. You're listening to Reverend Eliot's Magical Window. Oh boy, my throat is so scratchy. This this is it's so cruel, that sore throats. Why? I have a feeling it's because I'm usually a hermit, but lately I've had to go places a lot, which means I've been on mass transit here in New York. Means the buses, which run very well, by the way. I don't know why people complain about the bus system because not only is it very efficient here in New York and it works beautifully. The You can check when the buses are arriving at your stop through your cell phone and get messages that show where the bus is exactly and when it's going to be at your place, so you can time everything. That's very nice. See, I avoid the subway, and you just have to look at the news to see why. It's like an 800-mile long insane asylum, and I have no interest in going back down in the subway ever again as long as I live. Not at all. So we're here now, and my voice is a little scratchy, I guess, because I picked something up around all the people I've been around. But that's good. That'll build the immune system up. Shirley in Fitzpatrick, Alabama is next. Shirley, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good, good. I thought I lost you. What can I look at for you tonight, Shirley?
Um, my cousin, I had a cousin that killed himself on 12/8, I think a few weeks ago.
Oh,
And I'm
that's
trying to see
terrible.
why did he kill it. His mom died in October. So, and I don't know if he got over her, but they said she wrote a book or something, had something bad, but I don't know what caused his death. So, but they shot himself in the
Let
head.
me see if I can find anything here about your cousin. How's that? Um, yeah, well, I've got the High Priestess card here, which shows that we're looking at something behind the veil. Um, I'm I have cards here that shows a person who is definitely feels that they're under attack. I mean, a lot of cards here about being attacked and being in danger. What I'm seeing is that it got to be too much. Did you know about this?
No, I didn't know. I just know his mom had died in October with lung cancer, and they said he was
Yeah.
in the backyard and 12/8 and shot himself in the head.
Well, I because what I've got here is cards of strife and struggling and pain. Um, it's, that now the odd thing is though, like this always happens when I do one of these readings. I have got a few very good cards here too, like the Four of Rods and the Sun. I always get the Sun. That's telling me that the Spirit is got the message coming across from the Spirit is I'm doing better now, and I'm growing, and I'm evolving, and I'm in a better place. So that's some consolation, I would hope. I know it doesn't take the pain away, but
Mm-hmm.
the thing was something got to your cousin that was just so overwhelmingly that the feeling of being attacked from all sides was just too much to bear. But now I see that the spirit is at peace, which is good. I get a little nervous doing these readings because I don't want to find out that the spirit is not at peace. That only happened to me once, though. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping we're all going to end up there at some point. I'm hoping that there really is peace there that can be found. But that's what I'm seeing in these cards. The Nine of
Okay.
Coins especially shows a person who is at, at peace with themselves. So that's good. Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's that should help a little. But the person, why? What I'm seeing is a very, 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 very conflicted person who felt that everything was attacking and everything was going wrong, and it's just it's sad, and especially when people go
Mm-hmm.
through that, if they go through that and don't talk to us about it, that's what's really that's so sad. But
Okay.
the worst is over for your cousin. Let me put it that way, okay?
Yeah.
And now on the other side, there's growth happening, and happiness is there is coming back into your cousin's life. Okay, I hope that helps out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll light a white candle to send positive energy your way and your cousin's way. How's that?
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's the least I can do. If there's anything else you want, you can always contact me through my website, which you can find through askoneradio.com. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Bye now.
All right. Bye bye.
And hey, we're all shuffled up again. These things are so sad that this is what's puzzling with people like this 15-year-old who shot up the school. This was like the 23rd school shooting this year. Now that's bad news. That is bad news. But many, many, many years ago, in my college days, which means I was living in a woman's college. Don't ask. um, there was a course in suicide, which a lot of the students were fascinated by because they had at least one suicide a year. at this Ivy League school. And how can I phrase this delicately? Well, they said the way they put it was suicide is aggression turned inward. That a person can go two ways. They can go inward and destroy themselves, or outward and destroy other people. And the fascinating thing that was brought out in this class was that the writer Kafka, a definitely tortured soul, and Hitler had almost identical upbringings. One became suicidal and the other became a mass murderer. You know, I just don't know. It's so hard when people feel unconnected. You can tell them till you're blue in the face that we're all connected. We really are all connected. I mean, even the earth is alive. We're all part of the life of the earth. You know, it's a concept that a lot of people don't have. When they start to feel alone, it's just what that can destroy a person. And some people react by lashing out, and others react another way. Let me tell you, though, if we're talking about self-destruction, there's an awful lot of talk about the murder rate in this country with guns. I'm not going to make a speech for or against guns or gun control, but I will point out that one of the things that the news people never mention when they give the number of people killed annually by handguns, especially handguns, rarely rifles, but they never say, which is the more alarming part, terrifying even, is that well more than half of those deaths are suicides. It's not like they're all murders in that sense of people running around killing. There's enough of those to go around, that's for sure. But I just don't understand that depth. I can't identify with that depth of despair. I mean, I have had the kind of life that if I didn't bump myself off 50, 60 years ago, I'm not going to do it now. You know, let's put it that way. And yet, you know, it's a plague. And the question is this a spiritual plague? Do people not understand their place in the universe, their place in the cosmos? You belong here. You do belong here. You are part of everything here. You're very important here. I mean, it's almost touched on in It's a Wonderful Life, which I think is a sarcastically named movie, by the way, because the person gets to see how his life touches so many others. But it's more than that. I mean, we're all linked together. We are connected to entities that live 25 light years away. We're all stardust. We're all children of the universe. As Alan Watts was so fond of saying, as sure as an apple tree apples, a planet peoples. This is what it does. You have every right to be here. You have every right to be who you are. You have every right. Now, along with that is you have to recognize that right for other people. You can't go around telling other people how they have to treat you. You know, you may not like the way they treat you, but that's what doors are for. You know, you slam them. That closed the iron door on you. But no, you have every right to be who you are and live how you are. You just don't have the right to force that on anybody else, is the way I look at it. And why would you? Why do you care? What do you care if somebody doesn't like you because they don't like the color of your eyes or the color of your hair or makes as much sense as the color of your skin, right? That's as ludicrous. So, you know, that's people. We're all people. Just, you know, we're all the same, one organism. Every person is a piece of that human organism. Okay, that's my speech for now, because it's just this malaise of hopelessness that must be spreading across among so many people. I can't fathom it. This is the most This time in human history shows the least suffering physically and the most comfort that that humans have ever lived in, and yet the people who live in the most comfortable situations are the ones who are the most upset. I have no idea why that is. I couldn't even tell you in 1,000 years. Anyway, we could use the magical window, to look at these things and see what's going on, as we did with that last call. Johanna, is it? In Lexington,
Jonna.
Kentucky. Jonna. Oh, gee, sorry. I'm seeing letters that aren't even there, right? Hi, Jonna. Sorry for mangling your name. What can I do for you tonight?
I was interested in what you might see for my future.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I'm seeing a lot of change coming in your life. Are you looking for change?
Probably.
Well, when you're sure, you'll get it. You know what I mean? These cards are really good. These cards are powerful, and they show that a new period of your life is about to begin. Not right now, by the way. This is going to be a little while. Because that might be the doubt that you're feeling, because I've got the Two of Swords here, which is kind of like a stalemate and something not moving. Once you break through that, you'll be fine. The Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups are here. These are both cards that combined are very powerful, and they tell me that you're entering a new phase is coming emotionally. You're going to experience great happiness. The Lover's card is here. That's not necessarily a card of romance as much as it is a card of facing a choice in life. So you're going to make a choice, and you're going to improve your life. And I know you're going to make the choice to improve it because I've got the Magician here, which is a person who has all the tools and knows how to get what she wants and draws power, spiritual power from above down here to earth. The Nine of Rods tells me that you've had some rough times, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm here to tell you that that's coming to an end. Now, a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people get very comfortable in their misery, but I don't think you do, or you wouldn't be calling, right? You want
That's
change,
right.
don't you? Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
you're definitely on the road to change. Look at this. This is the Ace of Swords. I love that card for you, because that card is about the beginning of a new way of thinking and a new way of seeing the world. There's a really here, if you let it happen, a new you is coming. The you you've always known is in there, but you never let out. You've kind of hidden who you are from people, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, well, if you feel comfortable and safer doing that, then I'm not going to tell you not to, but put it that way. I'm not making a value judgment about that. I'm just saying that if you find that it is inhibiting you from growing, you may want to rethink it a little bit. But you know, I don't. I'm not in any position to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, if you know what I mean. I'm just going to tell you that whatever you do, you're going to do the right thing for yourself, because once you get by that Two of Swords, which is that period of stalemate, which you're in now, and nothing is moving and nothing is happening, your whole life is going to change, and it's going to change really for the better. I mean, I can't even describe how much better it's going to be. I see money, I see happiness, I see joy, I see all kinds of good things here. But right now, here's the Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords together. These confirm it. Right now, you're feeling stuck. You're not 100% ready for this change to come. When you are ready, and you will be, you take your time about things, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, that's not a bad thing. They told me I was a procrastinator, and that was bad. But I looked at it as me taking time and preparing. But I think that you got good stuff coming. A lot of good. All these. I'm getting more and more happy cards here. You're at the cusp of a whole new you, and I find that really exciting. As it develops, if you're confused about anything or if you want some more help, please just send me an email. My email address is asktarot@earthlink.net, or you can go to my website, which is magick-works.com, magick-works.com, and use the contact form there. I'll be more than happy to pull some more cards for you. No charge.
Okay.
I'm not trying to drum up any business here. This will continue. We'll consider that a continuation of this free reading. How's that?
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Well, I'd be more than happy to do that. So please take advantage of me, right? Use this, okay? I definitely would like to do that with you, because I'll be there if you need it. Because I know you're hesitant, and change is difficult. Change, even when it's good change, it's difficult. Look at the stories we hear about people who win millions of dollars in the lottery, and it ruins their life. Years ago, I remember reading in a psychology book, which was my first mistake, was reading psychology books, that there's this thing called psychological stress units, and the amount of psychological stress units that hit you for getting married is the same as hitting you for getting divorced. So there's no value judgment in there. Change upsets people and stresses people. I do not like change. Look, I upgraded my computer now for the first time in 14 years, and it's driving me nuts. I have to learn a whole bunch of new stuff, but we get through it. I would just rather not change. I'd like things. I'm a very old-fashioned kind of guy. I shave with a straight razor. I have wind-up Victrolas here to listen to music on 78 RPM records. I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy. I was born old, and I like to think I'm getting younger, but you never know. So I understand the idea, and it's scary, but you are right at the edge of your whole life changing for the better. I even see more money coming your way. That's the Six of Coins. All the good stuff is going to start flowing to you, and you deserve it. You've waited a long time. And so, if there's anything that seems to be on your mind about this, just contact me, and we'll discuss it. Okay? And like I said, there's no charge. No charge. This is not me drumming up a sale. Okay? This is a gift, because I want to honor the change that's coming to your life. You deserve it. Okay. Thank you for calling. Bye bye now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh boy, it's exciting. It's funny the way, because when I read for people in person and I tell them there's change coming in your life, they're usually happy until they say, "Well, wait a minute, is it good or bad?" See, people want change. Many people want change. I could do without it. I mean, it's not easy for me, change, but in the scheme of things, learning to operate new software is certainly not a big change. It's just annoying. It's petty, but that's me. I still write with a quill pen. I do. I dip it in ink even. So believe it or not, right? Linda in Yorba, California is here.
Yes. How are you? I did not catch your name.
My name is Eliot, Reverend Eliot.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing well today.
I had been trying to get on this for some time, and fortunately it happened. Okay. Yes.
So what would you like to look at?
Yeah. Pardon me?
What would you like to look at in the cards?
Oh, I was looking at the near future.
The near future?
Okay.
Okay.
I'd say within the next 2.
Well, I see. Oh, boy, that's good news. There's changes coming to your life here. This is fascinating. Are you looking, whether you are or not? I mean, there's an opportunity coming your way. There's new stuff coming in terms of money. There's new stuff coming in terms of romance and emotions, and there's new stuff in terms of work and career. And judgment. The judgment card is here, which is like a rebirth. This is almost like the last caller. You're about to head into a whole new life. Are you ready for the changes coming?
Yeah. Yeah,
Because I see there's been some sorrow in your life. which is not a, I mean, that's not a great thing that's not a big thing to read. I mean, we've all had sorrow in our lives, but the thing is, it's over. That's what I'm seeing, is that it's done with. The Fool card is here. That negates anything bad in the reading.
The-
You've got good stuff coming. You've got good stuff coming financially, emotionally, and career wise. Are you working, or do you not work?
No, actually, I'm bedridden.
Oh, yeah. Well, there are things that you can do. You know what I mean? I didn't sense that you were out there looking for an office job, but there are things that could come your way. Uh, this is this is the beginning of something new for you. So keep in mind, there's new opportunities coming your way, and you deserve it. And things are going to be happening for you that you don't expect, and they're going to be good. Okay. And now you asked about the near future. I have the Eight of Rods, and that's a card that says that what's happening is happening now, and it's on the way now. So that is definitely the near future for you.
Okay.
Okay, so
Uh,
the Six of Swords is here, and the Temperance card is here. These tell me that you're moving away from the bad times and getting to better times, and you're here's the World, which is a card of assured success. So the
yes.
Temperance card means you'll get balance back in your life. This is good. You're ready for it,
Great.
and you're going to do it. Okay.
Oh, fantastic. I appreciate that, Eliot.
Thank you so much. These are
Yeah.
your cards. Thanks for calling in. I'm glad I could look at
Okay,
see
very
a
well.
bright future for you.
I thank you very much. Have a good
My,
night, Eliot.
thank you. Bye bye now. Well, that was see, the cards really answered. What she said. I would like to look at my near future, and that Eight of Rods is about something that's on the way now. So that's good. That's a good sign. But I like to see that the bad times are over for people. I mean, that's every now and then I see that the bad times are going to continue and it's going to be hell on earth. But for some reason, that only happened once in over 10 years of doing this on Ask One Radio. And I always have this idea that things work out so well for the callers because they're calling. They're asking for help. They're asking for clarification, and those are the things that are good for people. You can't fix something if you don't acknowledge it and you're not aware of it. So the good news is that the people know about it, and those people who know about it call and ask, and hey, the Lord helps those who help themselves, they say. Cherry in West Haven, Connecticut is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my call.
That's what I'm here for. I've got a few minutes left. What can I look at for you?
I'm just wondering if you see anything exciting coming up for me in the future.
Well, yeah, that's good. I've got the Ace of Swords here, which is a card about a whole new way of thinking. Your mind is growing and expanding. The Ten of Coins is here. That's almost assured happiness. The Lover's card is here. That's telling me that there's choices you'll be making, and that you're going to be facing some choices soon. But the result is going to be very good. You've got the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is the card about happiness and emotional fulfillment, not the Lover's card, like so many people think. So I'm seeing good stuff coming your way. The Sun is here. That's healing, health, growth, happiness. What else do I have here for you? Hey, this is the Eight of Cups. That's a card of a person who is moving away from the things in life that are not working and going towards things in life that are. So you've taken your destiny in your hands, correct?
Yes, I have.
And, well, you're going to succeed at it. All these cards show success. The Temperance card is here. That shows me that you are going to have balance restored in your life. And it's all because of that Ace of Swords, which is your mental activity is doing it. That means that you have taken the initiative and you've determined what you need to do, and you're going to do it. And you are doing it. And that's great. That's just great. And I can't think of anything better except there's one card here that shows that it's going to impact your whole life in a positive way. And here's the Fool card, which is the beloved of God, which is guaranteed success and happiness and joy. So you're doing okay. I've been doing this. That's twice today that's come up, and I've never gotten that card for myself. So well, there is a curse on me, by the way, but I don't know if it's worth going into now.
No, don't say that. You think there's a curse on you?
Oh, no, it goes back to the Spanish Inquisition put a curse on my family when they exiled them from Spain and moved them into the New World in the 1500s. Believe it or not. So that is weird, isn't it? I'll talk about that one night because I mention it in passing now and then, but I never got into it.
Because you are successful. You help a lot of people.
Yes.
So they didn't stop you from doing that.
No, it's not that kind of a curse. It's a bloodline kind of bizarre curse that kills the firstborn if it's a boy. That's which my father was nice enough to tell my mother about when she was pregnant the first time. Well, that was a girl. That's why I'm still here. Now, this is the funny part is that's why every male who survives in my father's side in that lineage from the family is named Eliot, which is not a Mexican name, but we are all named Eliot. There's so many Eliot Camarenas out there that I just decided to drop the last name and make it Reverend Eliot. And that's all because of the Spanish Inquisition. I like to think of Torquemada standing there shaking his fist at the boat saying, "Yeah, stay out." But I've got to run. I've got less than a minute to go, but good stuff is coming your way.
Great. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Bye-bye now. And that's it. We're taking it right down to the wire. We have a minute to go. And remember, now you're listening to Reverend Eliot's Magical Window every Wednesday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific, where we get together to look through the magical window of the tarot. And if you want to know more about what I do, go to mojoacademy.org to look at the books we've got there, and the audio and the video, and magic-works.com, magick-works.com. And remember, if you want a reading off the air, just go look at the prices at magic-works.com and take half off. Because I'm running a half-off sale to atone for the 6 months of shows that I was wanton enough to miss. But there you go, right? So remember that. Now, also, well, anyway, I'm so glad to be back. So I'll see you again next week. And remember, till we get there, like I said, time flies. It's up to you to be the navigator. Bye-bye now.